Welcome back, Lincoln Currency. Have you ever held a coin that seems ordinary at first glance, yet carries the weight of history, the intricacies of design, and the hidden potential of fortune? The 1973 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, is one of those fascinating pieces of Americana that straddles the line between everyday currency and collectible treasure. On the surface, a penny is small, light, and often overlooked, a mere 1/100th of a dollar. But delve deeper, and you realize that each penny is a snapshot of a specific moment in American history, minted with care, imbued with symbolism, and potentially worth far more than its face value. The 1973 penny, specifically, holds a unique place in the numismatic world, and for collectors, enthusiasts, and investors alike, it represents a tangible connection to the past, an opportunity for study, and sometimes even a path to significant financial gain. The first thing to consider when evaluating a 1973 penny is its physical characteristics. The coin weighs exactly 3.11 grams, adhering to the specifications set forth by the United States Mint. Made primarily of copper, specifically, a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, it has a distinct reddish-brown hue when newly minted, gradually turning darker and more muted with age and exposure to air. This combination of metals was selected not merely for aesthetic reasons but for practical ones: durability, ease of striking, and cost-effectiveness. Copper, a relatively soft metal, allows for detailed impressions of the coin's design while resisting wear sufficiently to circulate for decades. The 1973 penny has a diameter of 19.05 mm and a thickness of 1.52 mm, consistent with the Lincoln cent specifications established in 1909. Its edges are smooth, lacking the reading seen in dimes, quarters, and half dollars, which is a distinguishing factor in both design and tactile recognition. Handling a 1973 penny, one immediately notices its lightweight feel and smooth edges, making it distinct from many other coins of similar size, such as the nickel or dime. Every small detail, from the edge to the exact thickness, reflects a careful balance between usability, aesthetics, and longevity. Turning to the coin's design, the 1973 penny continues the legacy of the Lincoln cent, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, or front, of the coin features a finely detailed portrait of President Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design was revolutionary at the time because it was one of the first to feature a historical figure rather than an allegorical representation or symbol. Lincoln's profile, facing right, is rendered with a calm dignity, capturing the essence of the man whose leadership helped preserve the Union and end slavery. Surrounding his portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Along the top edge, "Liberty," to the left, and the coin's date, 1973, to the right. The clarity of these inscriptions, along with the sharp relief of Lincoln's facial features, is a testament to the precision of the mint's engraving and striking process. The reverse of the 1973 penny, meanwhile, bears the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial itself is intricately detailed, with columns, steps, and shadows rendered in miniature relief. If you look closely, you can see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a detail that many casual observers overlook. Above the memorial is the inscription, "United States of America," while below it reads, 1 cent, signifying the coin's denomination. To the left, the words, "E pluribus unum," appear, a Latin phrase meaning, "out of many one," reflecting the unity of the American states and the nation as a whole. These inscriptions, combined with the imagery, create a coin that is both beautiful and deeply symbolic, capturing the ideals and historical pride of the United States. However, a coin's physical beauty and historical significance are just the starting point for its collectability. The value of a 1973 penny is influenced by several factors, including mint mark, condition, rarity, and market demand. In 1973, pennies were minted in several locations, primarily Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint are generally the most common, with millions produced that year, while coins from Denver and especially San Francisco can carry a premium depending on their condition and collector interest. The mint mark appears just below the date on the obverse side, providing an immediate way to identify a coin's origin. The condition of a coin, often referred to as its grade, is one of the most crucial determinants of value. Grading ranges from poor P1, where details are almost entirely worn away, to perfect uncirculated, MS70, where the coin shows no signs of wear and retains full luster. A 1973 penny in circulated condition, with minor scratches and wear, might only be worth a few cents above face value. However, a 1973 penny in mint state, especially one graded MS65 or higher, could fetch significant sums from collectors. The meticulous preservation of details such as Lincoln's hairlines, the texture of his coat, the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, and the lettering all contribute to a coin's grade and thus its market value. In some rare cases, 1973 pennies exhibit errors or variations that dramatically increase their worth. These can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet compositions. A doubled die occurs when the coin is struck twice with misaligned dies, creating a doubled image that is highly sought after by collectors. Off-center strikes, where the design does not fully align with the coin's edges, create a visually striking anomaly. Even subtle variations in the coin's metal composition, though rare, can make certain 1973 pennies exceedingly valuable. For example, a penny struck on an incorrect metal planchet intended for another coin denomination could be worth thousands or even millions in exceptional cases. The history surrounding the 1973 penny is equally fascinating. In the early 1970s, the United States was navigating a period of social and economic change. The country faced inflationary pressures, energy crises, and a shifting cultural landscape. Coins, including the humble penny, circulated widely and frequently, becoming silent witnesses to everyday life, from pocket change in diners to coins dropped into vending machines and bus fare boxes. The penny, minted in such immense quantities, represents a snapshot of a specific moment in American economic history, providing a tangible link to the era's material culture. Despite its common appearance, the 1973 penny has been known to attract serious attention from numismatists and investors because of the market's recognition of its potential worth. Today, a typical circulated 1973 penny may sell for 5 cents to 20 cents, a modest premium over face value. Yet rarer varieties, uncirculated coins, and coins with notable errors can command prices ranging into the thousands, tens of thousands, and in some exceptional circumstances, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The astonishing $787 million figure, while seemingly astronomical, can be interpreted in the context of extremely rare collector coins, bulk investments, or particularly valuable error coins that command incredible premiums at auctions and private sales. Collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts watch these markets closely, as trends in rarity, historical significance, and collector interest can shift values dramatically over time. Another fascinating aspect of the 1973 penny is its symbolic and cultural resonance. The coin carries the face of Abraham Lincoln, one of America's most revered presidents, whose leadership during the Civil War and dedication to principles of freedom and equality left an indelible mark on the nation. Holding a 1973 penny is more than a financial consideration. It's a tactile connection to Lincoln's legacy and a reminder of the enduring influence of his presidency. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse serves a similar function, reminding users of the nation's historical landmarks, the ideals enshrined in civic architecture, and the importance of remembering the past while moving forward. Collectors often describe this duality. The coin as both a medium of exchange and a repository of memory, as part of what makes the penny endlessly fascinating. Moreover, the market dynamics surrounding the 1973 penny are shaped by a combination of supply, demand, and condition rarity. Unlike paper money, coins have a finite production each year, with some mintages far exceeding others. A 1973 penny from Philadelphia, for example, may exist in the hundreds of millions, while certain Denver or San Francisco varieties, especially proofs, may number only in the tens of thousands. Proof coins, designed with extra care and struck using specially polished dies and planchets, were intended for collectors rather than general circulation. These coins often exhibit sharper details, mirror-like surfaces, and a quality of craftsmanship that surpasses regular circulation strikes, making them particularly desirable. The story of the 1973 penny also intersects with broader economic history. During this period, the United States was grappling with inflation and the rising cost of metals. Copper, the primary metal in pennies, became increasingly expensive, prompting discussions within the mint about potential changes to coin composition. While these changes would not materialize until later decades, the 1973 penny represents one of the last eras when high copper pennies were still standard, preserving a piece of numismatic history that would gradually evolve. Numismatists often emphasize the subtle variant. To truly understand the significance of the 1973 penny, one must place it within the broader historical and economic context of early 1970s America. The year 1973 was a period of social, political, and economic transition. The country was navigating the final years of the Vietnam War, facing inflationary pressures, and entering an era of shifting cultural norms. The penny, while often overlooked in daily transactions, circulated widely as a witness to these transformative times. Every penny passed from hand to hand, from cash registers to coin jars, silently documenting the rhythms of everyday life, commerce, and history. For collectors, holding a 1973 penny is akin to holding a fragment of that era, a small, unassuming coin carrying immense historical weight. The production of the 1973 penny reflects the advanced minting techniques and standards of the United States Mint at the time. Each penny began its life as a carefully prepared planchet, a blank disc of copper alloy, specifically 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition had been standard since 1962, chosen for durability, ease of striking, and cost efficiency. The planchets were polished and inspected before entering the coining presses. Once approved, they were fed into high-speed presses equipped with meticulously engraved dies. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's classic Lincoln portrait, refined over decades, was impressed into the metal, capturing the subtle contours of Lincoln's face, the texture of his hair, and the folds of his coat. The reverse die, featuring the Lincoln Memorial design, imparted intricate details of the iconic building, including the minuscule seated figure of Lincoln himself. The minting process in 1973 was not only mechanical but also a precise art. Coins were struck with tremendous force to ensure that the details of the dies transferred accurately onto the planchet. Even slight variations in pressure or alignment could produce anomalies, some of which are now considered valuable error coins. For example, misaligned strikes or doubled dies can create visually striking variations. These errors are highly prized by collectors because they are rare and often unique to specific production runs. Understanding the minting process gives collectors an appreciation of why even minor imperfections can transform an ordinary penny into a sought-after collectible worth thousands of dollars. In 1973, the United States Mint operated primarily out of 3 locations producing pennies: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint had its distinct characteristics. Philadelphia, being the largest, produced the bulk of circulating pennies and did not carry a mint mark. Denver's coins are marked with a D, while San Francisco primarily produced proof coins with an S mint mark. Proof coins were struck with specially polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and exceptionally sharp details. They were intended for collectors and often packaged in protective cases. The 1973 proof pennies are particularly prized because of their flawless condition and the meticulous care taken during their production, making them a cornerstone for any serious collection. Rarity is another critical factor influencing the 1973 penny's value. While millions of pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, certain varieties and errors are scarce, and scarcity drives demand among collectors. For example, pennies with minor die variations, slight shifts in the mint mark, or unusual toning can fetch premium prices. Even the tiniest details, the shape of Lincoln's ear, the spacing of the letters, or the depth of the memorial columns, can differentiate an ordinary coin from a high-value collectible. Collectors often use magnifying glasses, microscopes, and reference guides to identify these subtle differences. The 1973 penny also exists in multiple grades of preservation, each impacting its value. Circulated coins, which have endured the wear and tear of daily use, typically fetch only modest premiums over face value. Uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, are considered highly valuable. Mint state MS grading evaluates a coin's condition, luster, strike quality, and the absence of blemishes or scratches. A 1973 penny in MS-67 or MS-68 condition can command a significant premium because it approaches perfection and preserves every fine detail of the original design. Even among uncirculated coins, subtle differences in toning and surface condition can affect market desirability. Error coins are perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the 1973 pennies market. One well-known error type is the double die, where the coin is struck twice with misaligned dies, creating a shadowed or duplicated effect on the letters or numbers. While not every 1973 penny exhibits this, certain specimens have been identified, and when authenticated, they can be worth thousands of dollars. Another error type is the off-center strike, where the design is not perfectly aligned with the coin's edge. These errors occur due to mechanical misfeeds in the press, and depending on severity, they can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some extremely rare planchet errors, such as coins struck on the wrong metal composition, can become the stuff of legends, selling for extraordinary sums at auctions. The numismatic market for 1973 pennies has also been influenced by trends in coin collecting and investment. Over the decades, collectors have increasingly sought coins not just for sentimental or aesthetic reasons but as financial assets. Coins like the 1973 penny, with its historical significance, widespread recognition, and potential for high-grade examples, fit well into this dual purpose. Investment-grade coins are often purchased with an eye toward appreciation in value, and rare 1973 pennies, particularly proofs or error coins, have historically demonstrated strong price growth. The figure of $787 million, while seemingly astronomical, can be contextualized when considering large-scale collections, auction aggregates, and exceptional error coins. Collectors and investors recognize that certain 1973 pennies, especially those with unique provenance or flawless condition, represent long-term wealth preservation. Cultural significance also plays a role in the coin's appeal. The Lincoln cent is more than currency, it is an icon of American history. Abraham Lincoln's visage represents leadership, resilience, and the fight for equality, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse is a symbol of national pride and heritage. Collectors often speak of the emotional and historical resonance of the coin, emphasizing that owning a high-grade 1973 penny is akin to holding a tangible piece of the nation's story. This combination of emotional, historical, and financial value elevates the penny above mere coinage. The 1973 penny also provides fascinating insight into technological advancements in minting. During the early 1970s, the mint continued to refine its techniques to improve striking quality, die longevity, and overall efficiency. High-speed presses, precise die alignment, and improved planchet preparation ensured that coins like the 1973 penny were produced with remarkable consistency. Yet, the sheer scale of production, millions of coins per mint, introduced opportunities for anomalies, giving rise to the collectible variations that numismatists prize today. Collectors often engage in meticulous research to fully understand the 1973 penny's value. Reference guides, auction catalogs, and historical mint records provide detailed insights into mintage numbers, minting processes, and known error types. Online databases and numismatic societies track sales history, helping enthusiasts gauge fair market values and identify coins with investment potential. By studying this wealth of information, collectors can distinguish ordinary circulated coins from rare specimens and make informed decisions about acquisition, preservation, and potential resale. Preservation techniques also play a crucial role in maintaining the value of a 1973 penny. Handling with gloves, storing in protective holders, and avoiding exposure to air, moisture, or harsh chemicals prevents deterioration and preserves the coin's original luster. Even slight discoloration, scratches, or fingerprints can reduce a coin's grade and market value. Serious collectors invest significant effort into proper storage, recognizing that the physical condition of a coin is paramount in determining its worth. In addition, market dynamics for 1973 pennies reflect broader economic and collectible trends. Demand fluctuates based on collector interest, rarity, and the appeal of specific eras or high-grade coins. Auctions, both in person and online, often showcase 1973 pennies alongside other Lincoln cents, highlighting relative rarity and value. Seasonal trends, such as increased interest during major numismatic exhibitions or publications featuring rare finds, can temporarily drive up prices. Collectors and investors watch these patterns closely, sometimes making strategic acquisitions to maximize long-term returns. The interplay between historical significance, physical attributes, rarity, and market dynamics makes the 1973 penny a remarkable object of study. Unlike coins that are valued purely for their metal content, the 1973 penny's worth is tied to a combination of factors: the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of Victor David Brenner, the technical sophistication of the United States Mint, and the collective interest of collectors and investors. Each coin is simultaneously a piece of art, a historical document, and a potential investment asset, offering layers of value that unfold the deeper one examines it. Finally, the 1973 penny also exemplifies the human fascination with objects that bridge past and present. As people handle these coins, whether casually in their pocket or carefully in a call. When discussing the 1973 penny, it is impossible to overlook the fascinating world of coin variations and errors. While many 1973 pennies circulated widely without incident, certain specimens emerged from the minting process with anomalies that have captured the attention of numismatists worldwide. These variations, often minute and almost imperceptible to casual observers, can significantly influence a coin's value. Among the most intriguing are doubled die varieties, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and planchet errors. Each of these categories represents a unique narrative of how small deviations in the production process can create coins of immense rarity and value. One of the most sought-after variations is the doubled die penny. A doubled die occurs when the die itself, used to strike the coin, carries an imperfection that results in duplication of design elements. On the 1973 penny, this may appear as doubled lettering in inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust, or a shadow effect on Lincoln's profile. Though the doubling is subtle, it is highly prized among collectors. In certain documented cases, 1973 double-dyed pennies have commanded thousands of dollars at auction, particularly in high-grade uncirculated condition. The rarity is amplified because such errors were not widespread, making each verified specimen an immediate collector's treasure. Another variation of note is the repunched mint mark, often abbreviated as RPM. This occurs when the mint mark, such as the D for Denver or S for San Francisco, is punched more than once onto the die, creating overlapping or shadowed impressions. A 1973 Denver penny with a repunched mint mark may display a subtle doubling effect, visible only under magnification. While these variations are less dramatic than some double die errors, they are nonetheless valuable to collectors because they provide evidence of the manual aspects of minting during the early 1970s. Every RPM coin carries a unique pattern, adding to the intrigue and collectible appeal. Off-center strikes are another category of high interest. These errors occur when the planchet is misaligned during the striking process, causing the design to be shifted relative to the coin's edges. The degree of off-centering can vary, with minor misalignments being relatively common, while extreme off-center strikes are exceptionally rare. A 1973 penny with a severe off-center strike may reveal partial Lincoln profiles or displaced inscriptions, creating a visually striking anomaly. Such coins often command premiums that far exceed their ordinary uncirculated counterparts, with some specimens reaching thousands of dollars at auction depending on severity and eye appeal. planchet errors also contribute to the allure of 1973 pennies. While the standard composition was 95% copper and 5% zinc, rare instances occurred where a coin was struck on a wrong or defective planchet. For example, a penny might have been struck on a blank intended for a dime, nickel, or other denomination, producing a coin with unusual weight, diameter, or metal composition. These errors are exceedingly rare and are considered some of the most valuable within numismatics. Verified examples of such planchet errors, particularly if uncirculated and well preserved, can reach extraordinary prices in private sales and auctions, sometimes entering the six-figure range. Famous auction cases illustrate the immense value potential of select 1973 pennies. Over the past several decades, rare specimens have surfaced in high-profile sales, attracting international attention. For instance, a 1973 double-dyed penny in pristine MS-67 condition sold for an amount far exceeding typical market expectations, highlighting how rarity, grade, and verified error status converge to create extraordinary financial outcomes. Other auction records demonstrate the demand for coins with unique provenance, such as those retrieved from original mint sets or time capsules, further boosting their desirability. These high-profile sales contribute to the perception of the 1973 penny as a serious investment vehicle in addition to its collectible appeal. In addition to error coins, uncirculated 1973 pennies, particularly proofs, hold substantial interest among collectors. Proof coins, produced primarily at the San Francisco Mint, were struck with specially polished dies and planchets, yielding a mirrored finish and exceptional detail. Unlike circulation coins, proof pennies were not meant for daily transactions and were instead collected as souvenirs or investment pieces. A 1973 proof penny, carefully preserved in its original packaging or professionally graded, can command a significant premium over typical circulated examples. Collectors often seek these coins to complete Lincoln Cent series or to showcase the artistry and craftsmanship of the United States Mint during this period. The 1973 penny also holds fascinating insights for numismatic researchers interested in metal composition and minting quality. During the early 1970s, copper prices were rising, prompting scrutiny over the use of copper in coinage. The 1973 penny represents one of the last decades of high copper pennies before economic pressures led to the introduction of zinc-plated steel in later years. By analyzing 1973 pennies, researchers can track trends in metal composition, strike quality, and die wear, providing a window into both economic history and technological advancements at the mint. Collectors with a technical interest often measure weight, analyze toning, and examine die characteristics to identify subtle variations that might elevate a coin's value. Market trends for 1973 pennies are shaped by both collector demand and investment potential. While the vast majority of pennies remain near face value, rare specimens, proofs, and error coins attract significant interest. The figure of $787 million in theoretical market value, although extraordinary, can be contextualized when considering global collections, institutional holdings, and the potential for extremely rare or historically significant coins to command high premiums. Investors recognize that certain 1973 pennies, particularly those with verified errors, pristine uncirculated condition, or notable provenance, represent a rare intersection of historical significance and financial opportunity. Numismatists emphasize that careful research and verification are critical when evaluating high-value 1973 pennies. Third-party grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), authenticate coins, assign standardized grades, and provide encapsulation to protect the coin. A certified MS-66 or higher 1973 penny carries a certificate of authenticity and is more likely to fetch top prices at auction. Collectors and investors alike rely on these certifications to ensure the integrity of transactions, mitigate risk, and establish market credibility. Provenance, or a coin's documented history, further elevates value. A 1973 penny that can be traced to a notable collection, historical event, or significant find holds not only monetary but also historical and emotional significance. Collectors place tremendous value on coins with verifiable stories, as these narratives connect the physical object to broader historical and cultural contexts. For instance, coins recovered from old bank rolls, estate collections, or even time capsules often come with accompanying documentation that enhances their collectible appeal. The appeal of the 1973 penny extends beyond traditional coin collecting into the realm of educational and cultural engagement. Teachers, historians, and enthusiasts use pennies as tangible tools to explore American history, economic principles, and civic symbolism. By examining the design, inscriptions, and material composition, learners gain insight into the era's technological capabilities, economic realities, and cultural priorities. The penny thus serves as a bridge between abstract historical concepts and tangible, everyday objects, making the study of 1973 pennies a multidimensional experience. Collectors also pay attention to the aesthetics of the coin, including color, toning, and surface condition. Over time, exposure to air and handling causes natural oxidation, resulting in a change in color from bright copper red to darker brown or even black. While some discoloration is considered normal wear, coins with attractive, uniform toning can command higher prices. In certain cases, collectors prize coins with unusual or naturally occurring color patterns, recognizing the aesthetic uniqueness that enhances both visual appeal and market value. Finally, the 1973 penny exemplifies the broader significance of coin collecting as both a hobby and an investment strategy. It represents the intersection of history, art, and finance, appealing to a diverse range of collectors. From the casual enthusiast intrigued by Lincoln's legacy to the serious investor seeking rare-era coins or high-grade proofs, the 1973 penny offers layers of value that extend far beyond its original face value. Whether studied for its intricate design, historical context, or financial potential, the 1973 penny remains a compelling subject of fascination and a cornerstone of the Lincoln Cent series. To truly appreciate the 1973 penny, one must immerse oneself in the broader historical narrative of the United States during that period. The early 1970s were a time of transition for the nation, characterized by social upheaval, economic challenges, and cultural evolution. The Vietnam War was winding down, yet it had left indelible marks on American society, influencing politics, public sentiment, and even the economy. Inflationary pressures were starting to manifest, and commodities such as copper, the primary metal in pennies, were increasing in cost. The humble 1973 penny, circulating in millions of households, grocery stores, and businesses, became a silent witness to this transformative era. While seemingly mundane, these coins provide a tangible lens through which one can examine the economic, social, and political currents of the time. Regional differences in minting practices also contribute significantly to the story and collectible value of 1973 pennies. The Philadelphia Mint, the largest in terms of production, produced the majority of pennies without a mint mark. This large-scale production ensured consistency but also made Philadelphia pennies among the most common in circulation. In contrast, the Denver Mint, marked with a D, produced fewer coins, resulting in a subtle but meaningful difference in rarity. San Francisco primarily produced proof pennies, marked with an S, intended for collectors rather than general circulation. These proof coins were struck with extra care, using polished dies and planchets to achieve mirror-like surfaces and sharp detail. Collectors often seek proof pennies from San Francisco for their exceptional aesthetics and near-perfect preservation. One of the most fascinating aspects of 1973 pennies is the story of notable finds in circulation. While most pennies of this era were exchanged thousands of times and worn down in pocket circulation, some coins resurfaced decades later in remarkable condition. For example, coins recovered from original rolls stored in banks or safety deposit boxes often retain full luster and minimal wear. Occasionally, collectors discover uncirculated 1973 pennies in forgotten drawers, old coin jars, or inherited collections. These rediscovered coins, often accompanied by anecdotal histories, have become legendary among numismatists. Some coins, particularly era coins or those with exceptional toning, have sold for staggering sums, highlighting the latent value hidden in everyday change. Regional variations in striking quality are also of interest. Even within the same year, slight differences in die wear, planchet preparation, and striking pressure can create variations that are collectible. Denver pennies, for instance, may exhibit marginally deeper relief on Lincoln's portrait, while Philadelphia pennies might show subtle differences in the spacing of letters or the sharpness of the Lincoln memorial columns. Advanced collectors study these nuances meticulously, using magnification and reference guides to document even the smallest variations. These differences, though subtle, contribute to the rarity and financial potential of specific coins. Historical context also enriches the value of the 1973 penny. Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait graces the obverse, represents ideals that are timeless: leadership, perseverance, and equality. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, meticulously designed and executed, serves as a reminder of the nation's architectural and civic achievements. During the 1970s, as America faced political controversies and social change, the imagery on the penny became a quiet symbol of continuity and national identity. Collectors often speak of the emotional resonance of holding such a coin, connecting the physical object to a broader cultural and historical narrative. Expert numismatists have long emphasized that understanding the 1973 penny requires a multi-layered approach, considering design, minting process, rarity, and historical context. Scholars and collectors often analyze mint records, study die characteristics, and review auction histories to assess value and significance. Interviews with experts reveal that the 1973 penny, while common in general circulation, contains hidden treasures for those willing to study it closely. The combination of error coins, high-grade uncirculated examples, and proof coins from San Francisco creates a dynamic marketplace where informed collectors can identify and acquire highly desirable specimens. The financial potential of 1973 pennies is amplified by the global interest in numismatics. Collectors and investors from around the world participate in auctions, purchase coins online, and trade with dealers to acquire rare examples. While most pennies remain worth little more than face value, exceptional specimens, particularly error coins, proof coins, or high-grade uncirculated coins, have demonstrated impressive price appreciation. Auction records and private sales have shown that a single 1973 penny, if verified as rare or exceptional, can command thousands of dollars or more, underscoring the latent wealth potential embedded in these small coins. Comparison with other Lincoln cents further illustrates the unique appeal of the 1973 penny. While coins from other years might share similar designs, the early 1970s mark a period of high copper composition, refined minting technology, and the emergence of certain error types. Collectors often place the 1973 penny within the broader Lincoln cent series, noting its place as both a representative of mid-20th century coinage and a distinct object of study. In particular, the combination of circulation coins, proof coins, and error coins from this year creates a comprehensive picture of minting practices, collector interests, and market dynamics. The study of toning and surface condition also plays a crucial role in evaluating 1973 pennies. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and handling can alter the coin's coloration. While circulated pennies often turn darker brown, uncirculated or proof coins may retain bright copper-red tones or develop attractive, naturally occurring patinas. Collectors prize these visually distinctive coins for both aesthetic and financial reasons, recognizing that pleasing toning can enhance eye appeal and market value. In many cases, coins with uniform, attractive toning can command higher premiums than otherwise similar uncirculated specimens. Beyond its numismatic and financial appeal, the 1973 penny serves as a powerful educational tool. Historians, educators, and hobbyists often use pennies to explore concepts of American history, economics, and civic symbolism. By studying the inscriptions, metal composition, and design, learners can gain insight into the social, political, and technological realities of the 1970s. The coin serves as a tactile artifact that bridges abstract historical narratives with everyday experience, allowing individuals to connect with the past in a direct, personal way. Furthermore, The 1973 penny offers an opportunity to explore the technological evolution of minting practices. Advances in die making, planchet preparation, and striking pressure during this period ensured high-quality coins, while occasional anomalies created the rare error specimens that drive collector excitement. Understanding these technological aspects not only informs collectors but also deepens appreciation for the craftsmanship and precision involved in coin production. Each penny becomes a microcosm of mechanical ingenuity, artistry, and historical significance, reflecting a remarkable intersection of human skill and national heritage. Market dynamics surrounding 1973 pennies are influenced by both scarcity and demand. While millions of pennies circulated freely, high-grade uncirculated coins, proof coins, and error coins are limited in number. Auctions, private sales, and online marketplaces reveal a strong, sustained interest in rare 1973 pennies, with collectors willing to pay premiums for verified specimens. The broader trend of increasing interest in numismatic investing has also boosted the visibility and perceived value of these coins. Investors and collectors recognize that coins with historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and verified rarity can appreciate substantially over time, providing both enjoyment and financial returns. Among the most captivating aspects of the 1973 penny is the range of minting errors that have become legendary in numismatic circles. While millions of coins were struck perfectly, the very nature of high-speed mechanical minting occasionally produced deviations that are now highly prized. Doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies are among the most sought-after variations. Each error is a reminder of the mechanical precision required to mint coins at scale, and the rare deviations serve as evidence of both human oversight and machine idiosyncrasies. Collectors often describe these errors as a window into the mint's inner workings, capturing a moment when the ordinary transformed into the extraordinary. Double-dyed pennies from 1973 are perhaps the most well-known and collectible error. The doubling can appear in inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or subtly in Lincoln's facial features. These coins are verified through careful examination under magnification, and certified examples command substantial premiums in the market. Similarly, repunched mint marks, where the D or S mint mark appears overlapping or shadowed, offer numismatists a glimpse into the die preparation process. While these errors are subtle, their rarity makes them highly desirable, especially in uncirculated grades. Off-center strikes, ranging from minor misalignments to extreme shifts revealing partial Lincoln profiles, represent another fascinating subset of errors. Some off-center 1973 pennies have been sold for thousands of dollars, with buyers drawn to their visual uniqueness and scarcity. Planchet errors, though rare, have captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. In some documented cases, a penny might have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or composed incorrectly, resulting in an unusual weight, thickness, or metal composition. Such anomalies are exceedingly uncommon, and verified examples often sell at auction for tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. These coins are treated with extreme care, as they are among the most significant numismatic finds for the 1973 penny series. Some of the world's most famous 1973 pennies are housed in renowned collections, both private and institutional. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents often seek to assemble complete sets of high-grade, error, and proof coins, sometimes spanning decades of minting history. These collections provide a roadmap for understanding variations, rarity, and market trends. Museums and numismatic institutions also showcase select 1973 pennies, particularly proofs or certified error coins, as part of educational exhibits. Viewing these coins in person allows enthusiasts to appreciate the craftsmanship, detail, and historical resonance that photographs cannot fully capture. Record-breaking sales further illustrate the financial potential of exceptional 1973 pennies. While the majority of circulated coins remain near face value, certain uncirculated or error specimens have sold for astonishing amounts at auction. One notable example involved a high-grade double-die 1973 penny fetching thousands of dollars in a private sale, highlighting the premium collectors place on rarity, condition, and certification. Such sales reinforce the idea that while the ordinary penny is ubiquitous and mundane, the rare, high-quality, or anomalous 1973 coins are treasures with tangible investment potential. Auction results, often documented in numismatic publications, also provide benchmarks for valuing coins and understanding market trends. Investment strategies for 1973 pennies often mirror those used in broader numismatic markets. Serious collectors and investors seek coins that offer a combination of rarity, historical significance, and preservation. Certified high-grade uncirculated coins, proofs, and verified error specimens form the core of these investment strategies. By focusing on condition, provenance, and market demand, collectors can identify coins likely to appreciate in value over time. Numismatic experts recommend careful research, third-party certification, and preservation practices to ensure that coins retain maximum potential for both enjoyment and financial return. The 1973 penny is also unique in its ability to bridge multiple interests. For casual enthusiasts, it is a piece of everyday history. For historians, it is a tangible artifact of early 1970s America. For numismatists, it is a study in minting precision and design evolution, and for investors, it is a potentially valuable asset. This multidimensional appeal contributes to the ongoing fascination with the 1973 penny and ensures that it will remain a key subject within Lincoln Cent collections. Finally, beyond financial and historical considerations, the 1973 penny represents a broader cultural narrative. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse are enduring symbols of American ideals, governance, and architectural achievement. Holding a 1973 penny, particularly one in pristine condition, offers collectors a direct tactile connection to history. It is a reminder that even the most seemingly ordinary objects, coins often overlooked in daily transactions, can hold immense aesthetic, historical, and financial value. For many enthusiasts, this connection to the past is just as compelling as the coin's market price. In summary, the 1973 United States penny is far more than a 1-cent piece of currency. Its historical context, minting variations, era coins, proof issues, and market dynamics combine to make it an object of fascination for collectors, historians, and investors alike. From doubled dies to off-center strikes, from high-grade proofs to rare planchet errors, the coin offers layers of interest that continue to attract global attention. Its place within major collections, record-breaking auction results, and role as an educational and cultural artifact further reinforce its enduring significance. Whether appreciated for its artistry, its connection to Abraham Lincoln's legacy, or its financial potential, the 1973 penny remains a remarkable symbol of American coinage, a small, humble piece of metal carrying the weight of history, culture, and value. For collectors and enthusiasts, understanding the 1973 penny requires attention to detail, careful research, and an appreciation for both the historical and financial narratives it embodies. Every coin, whether a common Philadelphia strike or a rare era proof from San Francisco, tells a story. The 1973 penny, in all its variations, continues to captivate, educate, and inspire, proving that even the smallest coin can hold the greatest significance.